I am Marilyn Barton. I am the lucky lady that shared Darrell's life. This day is our day to say thank you to all of you and everyone. Your kindness and your patience have made this journey for us much easier. I met Darrell when I had just turned 19. We were students at Wichita State University. I was a sophomore. He was only a freshman. He was 24 and just back from duty in Vietnam as a combat Marine. He was older and serious and focused. He was unlike anything or anyone I had ever seen. I saw that he took really good pictures. Our paths crossed often on the campus, but most often it was in the journalism department. It was there that our adventures began. He had gotten on as a staff photographer for the Sunflower, the campus paper. And Don Autry would pay him $1.50 for each published picture. And I was doing a lab, and so he would take me along and make me work for free. It's kind of a theme of our life, if you know us very well. And so one of the things we really got good at was doing double-page spreads with lots of small pictures and just a few words of cut lines. So maybe that's where some of that started. We worked together well, and our adventures continued. When I think about life with Darrell, that also often meant life without him, as his career and the siren song of hard news kept calling him away, sometimes for months at a time. His constants were family and friends, coming home, photography, and farming. He was a truth teller and insisted on truthfulness. He was a storyteller. He used his words, still photography, and the language of film to document and communicate the stories he told. Working as a journalist is dangerous work. There are those who do not want the truth to be told. Done right, it is not without risk. Our duty as journalists is to find the truth and then tell the people. It is a responsibility to do it right. Family. Darrell had goals for our children. There was only one rule. They had to grow up to be good people, and they have. He didn't care if they were first or last. If they weren't good human beings, nothing else would matter. Friends. The nature of the work in hard news makes those we work with friends, and they become part of our family. Darrell was an only child, and yet our family is huge. Farming. Darrell had clear childhood memories of farming in Arkansas. He remembered driving the family's horse-drawn vegetable wagon to town. He remembered his father's effort to grow tomato plants and the financial disaster of crop failure. He turned our own family garden into a farmer's market business. We both found that the hard physical work we did in the garden was a good antidote to the sadness we encountered in the sad stories he saw through the viewfinder. Besides his farming efforts, another coping skill for Darrell was our family's therapy bucket. And if you haven't noticed it, it's the bucket these flowers sit in. And you'll see that there's not much bucket there, so you need to take a look at it before you leave. This bucket is full of holes. When life just seemed too hard and too unfair, he would take one of our guns outside and use the bucket for target practice. This is one of the great joys of country living. No one gets hurt, and you feel a lot better. Old cars are another theme from his youth in Wichita. He bonded with his work truck, his 1930 Model A work truck. His old cars brought him joy. So you can see what this all means. He had a family, took up farming, and collected old cars so he could, yes, take pictures at home when he wasn't taking pictures at work. He was also a teacher and a mentor. Nothing was more fun for him than watching someone succeed. He himself was always learning and pushing his own limits every day in every way. He was for education. We did not gather here today to say goodbye to Darrell. We came here to honor him and his work. As his family, we will continue this work that he started through a more formal approach to scholarships through the Darrell Barton Foundation for those who take up the craft and the responsibility of photojournalism. We also offer a challenge. We have created a challenge coin. It will identify you. A challenge coin is not given lightly, and it is a tradition in the military. It is only given one-on-one. Please, before you leave this room today, shake hands with one of our speakers before you go. And most people know about Darrell's nuns. We've got Sister BJ and the book he did for her in her work with our friends at the pantry. But the first book he did was on prayer, and it was for on the Carmelite Monastery in Piedmont. If you know them, you know that they are Discalced. Their work is prayer behind the monastery walls, and they could not be here today. However, they send us these words. Marilyn, this is a bit of a testimonial and prayer for Darrell's celebration. We will be remembering all of you as you celebrate such a lovely man, such talent, and such a big heart. We miss him too. Sister Donna and the nuns. This is what they've written. We give thanks to God on this special day for the many ways he connected us with Darrell and Darrell with us. We deeply appreciate all Darrell did for us, from the TV feature story in 1978 to the 2008 booklet, A World Apart, in which he so beautifully captured in his photographs and comments the true spirit of the life of prayer and work that we share in our cloistered community. We also give thanks to God for the somewhat miraculous healing he provided in response to the request for prayer we received when Marilyn and Darrell's son, Jackson, was born prematurely, and when their daughter, Carrie, was critically injured in a car accident. May future generations continue to be blessed by Darrell's gift of photography, and may his family and friends be comforted through all their precious memories of him, and in trusting that he is looking down on them with love from heaven. Thank you.